Hello, welcome to Board Deck and Dice. I'm your host. Yes, I am. Today we're reviewing Boomtown Bandits from Breaking Games. Let's see how it plays. So, in Boomtown Bandits, you will take the bottle, first player marker, you will spin it, and whoever it points to is the first player. They can keep their clothes on though. The first player will take the sheriff's badge and they will lay it in one location, meaning that location is out of play for this round. The number of locations that are out is the amount of players plus one. After that's been done, each player in turn order will take turns playing their chips onto one of the locations at a time. They can play 2 chips onto the same location, but they must do them one at a time. You have 2 shooters and 1 coward. So what might happen is that, let me get some green ones as well, or yellow, that, then that, and that. And when everyone's done, the locations will be revealed left to right. Usually they're in a line, just for ease of filming I've put them in here. So in this location we have 1 coward and 3 shooters. So each colour will take the dice for the tokens they have played. Yellow has played 2 guns, so they take their gun dice, which are 4 blank sides and 2 bullets. The red will take his coward dice, which is 4 blank sides, 1 coward and 1 bullet, and the blue will take 1 bullet. Then they will count down, say 3, 2, 1, go, and they will all roll at the same time. And as soon as someone rolls anything that's not a blank, they shout stop or hit. So here the coward's been very lucky. He's rolled a bullet, so he can remove one of the other player pieces. So he removes the yellow one, and now the yellow's only rolling 1 dice. Then they roll again all together until someone shouts hit. If a coward is rolled, then that coward and all cowards showing are removed and they cannot win. You do this until there's 1 left, and this player will take the loot card and it will give them a monetary value and a power that can be used at a certain point. You're looking to win the most money in the game. If you ever have all your colours on 1, you just simply take the loot card for that one. This one, you take the bank, and you resolve all the other locations through dice rolling and speed. There are bonus cards in the game, one that gives you 15 for doing, helps if they're the right way around, 15 for being the first to collect all loot from all the stages, and one that everyone else gives you the bonus for the most loot collected from a location. There are 2 more locations in the game, the saloon and the brothel, and they all give you slightly different loot cards. There is a page on the rulebook which talks about this. The game has a last round when 1 location is emptied of loot cards, and after the last round the person with the most money wins. That is Boomtown Bandits. I must say, I was really looking forward to Boomtown Bandits, but reading the rules, it was a little bit like there wasn't much game to it. It's just this speed dice rolling, and I was a little bit disappointed. Also, what was immediately apparent was that one of the locations was called the brothel. Now, as we all know, I'm a raging prude, but I just didn't. That meant that a game that, in terms of mechanics, is perfect for my son to play, now I have an issue with. Yes, that's only if we're going to play full players, we can take that one out. But then some of the cards on, at least one of the cards has the word bastard on as well. So again, it's just little things like that which seem at odds with the mechanics, which are very friendly. I know you're shooting people, but it's done in a very kind of family-friendly mechanic of speed rolling. Having said that, playing the game was a lot of fun. The kind of bluffing of where you're putting your coward, where you're putting your gunmen. Your gunmen are more likely to win, but the cowards can still win if they roll bullets every time, and that's quite a fun little diversion. The fact that cowards clear, if you roll a coward, you're also clearing out all the other cowards, so it can be quite helpful to play a coward where other cowards are. the differences between the prizes that you get from each venue. Now, I would say there was a bit at the back, which this is my fault, bit at the back of the rules that I thought was flavour text and didn't really pay much attention, which kind of explained the locations. And you do need to read that, or perhaps have a look through the locations and explain what's on offer before shuffling them, so they know the value and stuff. One of the players said, oh, it'd be nice if they were face up. I didn't quite agree with that, because particularly in the mine, where yes, you can grab $20, but you're going to lose one of your counters for the next turn. I just don't think that would ever be popular, and so there's that kind of thing there. So I do like the fact that they're hidden, but a bit more knowledge before even the first game would make it more enjoyable. My biggest criticism is the rulebook, really. For such a light game, it leaves a lot of questions. The writing has a lot to be desired, and the layout isn't the best. Having said that, once you start playing, it's very obvious what you're doing. Only a couple of questions arise that aren't answered in the rulebook, and it's easy enough just to house rule those, particularly when we had the most interesting one we had was when a location runs out of cards and that triggers the end game. Is that location closed for that round or not? And my assumption was that it would be closed because no one would go there. But then my friend had a power where he could send us to another unresolved location. So could he send us there even though we couldn't loot? My opinion was no, but the rulebook isn't clear on that, and given again the simplicity of the game, the amount of white space in the rulebook, things like that could easily have been explained. So Boomtown Bandits is done really nicely. The components are lovely, the artwork is great, the insert is fantastic, but there's a few clashes with the mechanic style, which suit family and younger play, and the content in the game on some of the cards. It is avoidable if you stick to lower player counts and just don't play those locations, but you're really, if you want to avoid the swearing and the brothel, then you have to take 2 locations out, so you're stuck then to 3-player games. So I guess you could just take the loot card out and perhaps replace it. There may be, I can't remember exactly how many there were, or play loots from a different location. But again, you know, a smart kid's going to say, why are you doing that? And they're just not conversations I want to have with my kids. Having said that, I would play this with my game group. I think it's quick enough, it's fun. It's not without decisions, even though you're tied to the luck. You have to be fairly okay with people rolling at different points. You know, you'll say, some people say 3, 2, 1, go. Some people say 3, 2, 1. And basically most people start rolling on the 1. So you can't be too much of a rules lawyer in this game. It is about the fun, not the win. And it's about those underdog victories where everyone else has placed both their shooters on a location and you stuck your coward in and you still win. And that's what this game is. I could take it or leave it, to be honest, but I would play it again. So intimidation factor is quite low. The rules are not great, and there's no reason for them not to be great with such a simple game. The fun is, yeah, I had a lot of fun with this. Again, probably depends on your group, and you need to not take rules to heart, or the imposition of rules around speed play to heart, because people are going to shout at the same time. People are going to start rolling half a second before you do, that sort of thing. Would I add it to my collection? If it didn't have those issues with the content, I don't want to call it mature content, I don't want to get silly about it, but ultimately I'm not going to play that with my 7-year-old son in that form, and so it limits me to a 3-player game without some serious tinkering. So it's not going in my location. If it in my collection, if it didn't have those issues, then yeah, my son will love it. You know, we'd play it a lot. But it's a real shame that it does have those things. So at the minute, as it stands, not going into my collection, but would if it were more appropriate. That's Boomtown Bandits. Thanks very much for watching Board Deck and Dice. We will see you next time.